absolute thousands of people trying to get through a narrow gap again. You've got a big metal fence that was locked, and you've got thousands of people trying to get through a little gap. Morning, welcome to my channel Old Man Does Try. My name's Steve Nixon and this is week 9 of my truncated Berlin marathon training. Cold, wet and windy Tuesday morning. I was supposed to go and do an interval session with 4 times 7 minutes at half marathon distance speed. But I've just dragged myself out of bed with a migraine, and yeah, my thighs are a bit sore after the Great North Run on Sunday. So the thing is, all I'm trying to do is to get my body through to Berlin, and then I can have a rest. So I've just decided, instead of doing that, I will just do a zone 2 6 mile run. So I suppose I better get it done. Quicker it's done, quicker I get back, and then I can do some weights. Oh, that was a wet and windy one. Really strong winds and driving rain. But 6.5 miles, zone 2, roughly 9 minute 50 per mile. So yeah, that'll do me. It's done. I think I need to get dried, get some breakfast before I go and do any weights. I'm soaking. It's a few days now since the Great North Run, which it was absolutely brilliant race. Horrible conditions, but the crowd still turned out and it's brilliant. But a couple of issues, and I'm not the only person to be moaning about this, because I know Chris Ford on Fordy Runs, they were all not impressed with the crowd control or the way they brought us into different areas. But the first point was, when you come out of the metro station in the city centre, it directed you follow the signs, and then you got thousands and thousands, 60,000 people doing it, and you got thousands of people following these signs. And the first of all, it looked, I think it was a university area, it got thousands of us all going through, and it was just a bottleneck, because right in the top corner was a narrow alleyway where everybody was trying to funnel through to get through onto it was a main road that was closed then. So that was the first nightmare situation. So once we got out into the main road, followed that up, followed the orange signs, and it led us into like a park, a field area, which is great, plenty of space. But then I started to see on the left hand side there was like lines and little gaps in the hedges. So I just carried on up to where the mass of people, there was thousands of people just gathered in one area. And once you got to the front, you realise why everybody was gathered there. There was absolute thousands of people trying to get through a narrow gap again. You've got a big metal fence that was locked, and you've got thousands of people trying to get through a little gap, and there's people coming through the other way as well. Now, I've been, in my younger days when I used to go and watch football away with England and Liverpool and that, I've been caught getting crushed coming out of stadiums where they pushed us back through turnstiles, and you got thousands of people behind pushing. Now, we're just lucky that this was not a football crowd, and this was people all in, just there taking the time. But it was just absolutely crazy. The race itself, everything like that was perfect, but the funneling of participants, racers, was absolutely disgusting. Eventually people managed to unhinge the gate in some way and managed to get the gate open. Otherwise, if people were then late, felt like they were late to get to their starting pens, people might start pushing, and it was just crazy. So that's all I want to say on the matter. It was luckily, hopefully nobody was injured. It was a brilliant day, but there's two bottlenecks. There's the bottleneck I've mentioned earlier, coming through like looked like university buildings, and then this was just disgusting, absolutely disgusting. But that's all I'm saying on it. Morning, Saturday morning. It's the last long run today before Berlin in 2 weeks tomorrow. It's 20 miler. I'm just going to do the route that I did about 3 weeks ago, but I'm going to do it in reverse because the last 7 miles of it is just like country lanes and it's boring. So I'm going to swap it around where I'm running through Nantwich and Crewe. So yeah, hopefully. So quick breakfast and out in about 10-15 minutes. So yeah, it's a bit cold out there today, so got leggings on for the first time, wrapped up, gloves in the pocket if I need them, because of the day it was absolutely freezing. So breakfast quickly is just bagels, banana, honey. So I'm going to be a bit full for the first few miles. Hopefully I don't get a stitch or anything, but I need to get out and get back as quick as I can. So the idea is today is just I'm going to try and follow the stride training for it. So I've got to keep certain power for 2 hours, and then I think there's about a 40-minute at marathon goal pace. But I tend to just and end up sticking at just the zone 2 in the end on these, because it's just so hard on your own. So we'll see how it goes anyway. Right, that's the first 50 minutes done. Just stopped for a gel, so I'm going to try and take a gel every 50 minutes, and take my jacket off because it's a hell of a lot warmer than it has been this week. So just a quick overview of the long run. The reason why I'm doing it sat here and not at the end of the run is because my GoPro 3 battery went again. Well, not battery went again, it switched itself on when it was in my pocket when I wasn't using it. So the only time I managed to get any footage was when I stopped after 50 minutes, and then it cut me off halfway through that. But a few mistakes I made. One, I underestimated the weather. It was clear skies, and it was a lot warmer than it was showing on the weather forecast. So started off with too many clothes on, and I didn't take water with me neither. Fueling strategy was just some precision hydration gels every 50 minutes. So I took one before I started, and then 50 minutes was the first stop, and then so on. So that side of things, but basically my legs just died on me after the 15th mile was good. They were all just on or just under zone 2. But the 16th mile, sorry, was then a minute and 30 seconds slower than the previous one. So I think that's when I was obviously the dehydration must have taken its toll, because when I finished, I went to get in the shower, got on the scales, and I was 5-6 pounds less than what it was when I got up in the morning. So I was obviously dehydrated. So that was my fault. Should have used my vest and that. So it was the first time I tried to use kilometers instead of miles. So I didn't even look at my watch for that sort of thing. I was just trying to stay in the zones on my stride. The reason why I put it into kilometers is because Berlin, Germany, they work in kilometers, so there's no mile signs. So I've got to get my head round running in kilometers. So and that's why 32 kilometres in my head is bang on 20 miles, but if you see, I'm somebody that likes to round things up, and I was a bit like miffed off when I got in and looked at my watch. Well, I looked at Strava where it come up in miles as 19.91. So yeah, my OCD was a bit right. So that was the last long run. It was good for the first 15 miles, and after that my legs just fell off. But now we've got 2 weeks taper and then the marathon.
The world's fastest marathon celebrates its 50th anniversary. In September 2024, the BMW Berlin Marathon marks its 50th milestone, celebrating 5 decades of incredible achievements.